Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Kyle Gardner. I'm the sales director at Mutual of Omaha for disability and critical illness products. I appreciate you joining me on the call today. I'm going to go over a fantastic product that's going to help you make a lot more money, but also help you cover some gaps for your clients. This is our Critical Advantage portfolio. We are getting a ton of business from Symmetry Financial Group agents with this product. It has been our fastest growing product at Mutual of Omaha for the past couple of years. And once I get into it, I'm sure you'll be able to see why. So once we go through this presentation, it should only last about a half an hour. But I'm going to go over kind of a background of critical illness for you. I'll give you some stats. We'll go over the product information, and then I'll go over the e-app as well to give you an idea of how easy it is to use. So let's kind of jump right into it. So essentially, give you a background here. So this is the guy that actually started critical illness insurance. He was, his name is Dr. Marius Bernard. He was a South African doctor. He started critical illness insurance back in 1983, and he was on the first human-to-human heart transplant surgery. So the reason he started critical illness, he realized with medical advances, he was able to heal his patients physically, but the financial stress was actually working against everything he was trying to do as a doctor. And the reason I give you this information, because I think it's important to know that a doctor came up with this type of policy. It wasn't an insurance company. He realized there was a huge need to help his clients that he saw. So essentially, what is critical illness insurance? It's a lump sum tax-free check that you can get your clients upon diagnosis of a certain condition, whether it be cancer, heart attack, and stroke. They can literally use this money for anything they need. There's a lot of indirect costs associated with having cancer or having a heart attack and stroke that you'll see here in a second. But I want to give you a couple stats here. So as a man, I have a 1 in 2 lifetime risk, and for women, it's 1 in 3 of actually getting cancer in our lifetime. As we get older, that percentage goes up pretty dramatically. Now, heart attack and stroke, this year alone, 715,000 Americans are actually going to get a heart attack, and on average, that's 1 out of every 40 seconds. So I can guarantee every single person on this call knows somebody, whether it be a close friend or family member, that has actually had cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Now, with medical advances, like I said, we are able to actually survive those types of illnesses, but that survival has a price. So a lot of people take for granted, everything out of pocket that they could have associated with a cancer, heart attack, and stroke illness. And those are the indirect costs. So if you look at this graph that I'm showing you, 35% of the costs that you'll see associated with a critical illness is going to be the direct costs, and those are the costs that your health insurance is going to pay for. 65% is everything else, and those could be deductibles that you have on your health insurance, maybe out-of-pocket costs, benefit limitations. This day and age, if you do get cancer, you're more than likely not getting treated at the nearest hospital down the street. You could be referred out to a specialist, which could be out of state. If it's out of state, you may have to pay for numerous airplane travel tickets. You could be put up in a hotel room for an extended period of time. If you are an older individual, a lot of times what we see is the son or daughter have to take extended time off work to actually care for that individual, take them to appointments. So that's a loss of income for that family as well. Plus, you're still going to have your normal living expenses. So it could be your mortgage, house, utilities, groceries, all of that. And that's really what this type of policy is going to help cover and take care of for that individual. Now, a lot of times with insurance carriers, you see them raise rates. Well, we were very competitive in this space before with this product. However, 3 months ago, we actually decided to cut rates by 20%. So I can guarantee you, we are an A+ rated carrier. We're going to bring the most value to your client. We have the lowest rates in the marketplace right now, and we're also a great name brand carrier. So you can add value to your clients all day by selling this product. So let's get into the product portfolio. So within the portfolio itself, there are 3 different policies that you can potentially sell your client. There's a critical illness policy. I refer to that as the Cadillac plan. That's going to be the most comprehensive policy you can sell. There's a cancer policy and a heart attack and stroke policy. Now, the reason you see carriers actually kind of strip out and offer a cancer and heart attack and stroke policy as a standalone type policy, that is because cancer actually makes up 65% of all claims within this market space, and then heart attack and stroke makes up 15% of all claims. I also want to reiterate, this is a product that is a standalone product. This is not a rider that you're going to offer onto your life insurance policy. So if we look at the critical illness policy, we offer both whole life and term coverage. So we have lifetime coverage of 18 to 64 for our issue age. As long as they sign up for this policy between those ages, that is going to cover them until they die. We have term coverage options of 18 to 54 with a 10-year, 15, 20, or 30-year term. This works just like your life insurance. So if you're familiar with life insurance, we all know that whole life is a lot more expensive than term life. Same way with this product. Also, individual, single parent, or family coverage. And then our benefit amounts start as low as $10,000 and we go as high as $100,000. That will move in $1,000 increments depending on what your client wants to choose on the application. And then there is a huge feature that we offer with this product that no other carrier does in the market, and that is a built-in return of premium upon death. What that means is if your client signs up for lifetime coverage, they can essentially be confident with that policy that if they live a healthy, long life, they never trigger any of the conditions covered within that policy, every penny they pay into it is coming back to their beneficiary when they die. Huge selling point. We built that into the contract. It's not a rider, and our price point is very low. Here are all the covered conditions for critical illness. So we have the cancer, we've got malignant melanoma, heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's is a huge condition that we cover. Not a lot of carriers in the marketplace do cover that. We have major organ transplant, blindness, paralysis, deafness, and then kidney failure. All of this is covered at 100%. So no matter how serious any of these conditions are, your client will get paid out that full benefit amount. Now, covered at 25% is coronary artery bypass surgery and then coronary angioplasty surgery. So if your client signed up for a $100,000 policy, they triggered one of those conditions, they get paid out $25,000 and they'd still have $75,000 left in their benefit to use at a later date if they were to trigger another condition. There are a couple optional riders that you can choose to add on. There's a cash value rider. I refer to this as a living return of premium. It takes 30 years to build up to 100%, but essentially at year 30, your client can say, well, I don't want to pay these premiums anymore. I want to go ahead and cancel my policy. If they have that cash value rider in place, they can go ahead and cancel it and get every premium paid back to them while they're living. There's also an intensive care unit rider. This is going to pay a benefit to the client if they go into the ICU for any reason, whether it be for any accident or sickness, doesn't need to be for a critical illness, anywhere from $250 a day up to $1,000 a day, depending on what they choose on the application. Now, the cancer, heart attack, and stroke products are pretty similar. However, we have a lot wider issue age range for lifetime coverage. We go all the way from 18 to age 89. The term coverage options are the same. Now, one thing I do want to point out is we do not offer that built-in return of premium on these two products. Now, the coverages, cancer is going to cover just that, internal cancer or malignant melanoma, and then heart attack and stroke covers heart attack and stroke. Covered at 25% is going to fall underneath that heart attack and stroke policy. And then you can sell these two together on the application. I'll get into the e-app in a second, but we offer both paper and e-app. With this, it's very simple to use. Essentially, if you want to sell a cancer, heart attack, and stroke policy together, you choose one of those conditions as your base policy, choose the benefit amount for that, and then choose the other condition as a rider, and then choose the same benefit amount, or you could do a different benefit amount. So I'll give you an example. I could buy a $50,000 cancer-based policy and then buy a $10,000 heart attack and stroke rider to add on to that. If I were to get cancer, I'd get paid out that $50,000, and I'd still have that $10,000 heart attack and stroke rider in place to use as a later date if I were to get heart attack and stroke. And then you do have the cash value and the intensive care unit rider you could add on these products. Now, here's really the features that agents love about the product, and that is our underwriting. So our express underwriting on this product is a policy that the client chooses anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. What that means is we are only underwriting off the application. For an example, if you buy a cancer policy, there is only 3 total questions that you need to ask your clients. They are, do you have HIV or AIDS? In the last 10 years, have you had any internal cancer? And then in the last 3 years, have you had any pre-screenings for cancer that weren't ruled out as cancerous? If your client says no to all 3 questions and it's a policy between $10,000 to $50,000, you can confidently tell them, congratulations, you are getting a policy. We will not underwrite that any further. Now, if you write a policy anywhere from $51,000 to $100,000, then we're going to underwrite off those application questions, and there will be an MIB and script check, as well as a random telephone interview, 1 out of every 10. Now, no matter what size of policy you sell with this product line, we actually issue these policies within 24 hours. So it's a very quick turnaround. I've had agents before call me telling me that they've gotten an email from our underwriting staff in less than an hour after writing an app. So that the great thing about that is you get paid a lot quicker and your clients have 0 buyer's remorse because that policy is getting issued right away. So the key advantages of this product, it's very competitive on the compensation. It's guaranteed renewable. Another huge feature that we have is there's no reduction in base benefits at any age. Some of my competitors, they realize once you get older, age 65 or 70, you're more likely to trigger one of the conditions covered. So they go ahead and slice your benefit amount in half once you hit that age. We will never do that. So the policy that your client signs up for is the policy they will ultimately get if they trigger one of the conditions. We also have that e-app and paper application. There's no policy fee with this, and you can payroll deduct or list bill 3 or more lives. Another great thing is we are in every state except for Montana with this product. So if you're an agent that likes to sell over the phone, you have multiple licenses in other states, you can sell this product all day. And the great thing about it is, like I said, everybody knows somebody that's had cancer, heart attack, and stroke. So you're not limited to prospects that you can approach with this product. So let's go ahead and take a look at the application itself. All right. So if you're familiar with our website at mutualofomaha.com, you'll go ahead and log in under sales professionals using your agent ID. If you have not logged in before, you're going to need to go ahead and register using that agent ID, create a password. But once you get in there, you'll look for our e-application section, click on that, and find the Critical Advantage Critical Illness application. This is my testing environment. However, it's going to look the exact same for you. So you have 3 different options. Once you get to this screen, you can go ahead and quote the product. You can go directly into the applications, or you're going to have a dashboard that allow you to view all the applications that you've started and finished. So let's go ahead and get a quote. So once I click that button, I can go ahead and put in the state. I am out of Nebraska here in the mothership at Mutual of Omaha. So I put in my state. I can do individual coverage, individual plus children or family. I'm going to keep it at individual. Let's look at say a new homeowner, age 30. Maybe they want a cancer policy with a $30,000 benefit. I'll go ahead and hit calculate. That is going to run them at a very low cost of $12.93 a month, or sorry, $12.93 a month. If they want lifetime coverage. Now, that rate will never change for them. Once they go ahead and get the policy, that rate is never going to raise for them. Now, they can go ahead and apply now, go directly into that application, or they can hit modify. Well, maybe they want to go ahead and look at a full critical illness plan. Like I said, that's the most robust coverage that they can buy with this. So if we do a $30,000 lifetime coverage for the same 30-year-old, hit calculate, that is now $31.65 a month. So we can go ahead and hit apply now. We're going to need to go ahead and put in our commission code. You should only have one option here for you. If you do have multiple options, please contact your representative at Symmetry Financial Group, and then hit start application. So everything that we just did on that quoting screen is going to get transferred over to the very first page. So we shouldn't actually need to change anything on this first page. It should all be set here for us. However, you can go ahead and modify it if you'd like. I want you to pay note to these tabs over here on the left-hand side. As you can see, these are the different pages of the application that we'll go through. But if anytime you see anything that is highlighted in yellow, that means you need to go into that page and complete something within that application. Now, I've already started an application for you for demonstration purposes that's filled out, so I'll go into that app. And then let's take a look at the next page. So the next page of the application is going to be the proposed insured information page. So it's pretty standard to what you're used to. We ask for the name, date of birth, where they live. We do ask for height and weight. That is because we do have a height weight chart for our critical illness and heart attack and stroke policies. It's very similar to your life insurance policies height weight charts. If they are outside the range of that height weight chart, then they will be denied coverage. However, the cancer policy does not have a height weight chart. Also, this is a question that comes up a lot. Why do we ask for the beneficiary? The reason we do that is, say, if your client had a heart attack and stroke and passed away, we're still going to go ahead and pay that benefit amount, but that will go to the beneficiary. The next page, we are simply asking if they have any other coverage in place. What this question means, do you have any other critical illness type policies at Mutual of Omaha? We do not care if they have millions of dollars in policies with other companies. You can only get $100,000 max coverage with us for a certain condition. So, for instance, if they bought a $50,000 cancer policy 2 years ago, that's great. They can buy another $50,000 in cancer coverage from us. They just can't go over it. So if they did have a policy with us existing, they'd go ahead and put yes and then put in the information here. Like I said, if they have another policy with other companies, we do not care. You can go ahead and move on to the next screen. Now, here are all the health questions. So this is showing cancer health questions. So Section 1 is always going to be asked no matter what policy within the portfolio you are selling the client. That refers to the HIV or AIDS. Section 2 is going to be our cancer questions. As you can see, there are only 2 questions here that you need to ask. I'm going to go back here and show you what the heart attack and stroke questions will look like if you are selling that. So Section 1, like I said, is always going to show up. If we're doing a heart attack and stroke app, Section 3 will show up. So it's pretty easy application. It's only going to show you the questions that you need to ask the client. There are 4 total heart attack and stroke questions. Now, if you are selling a critical illness, you're going to get all 4 sections because those are all the conditions covered within the policy. So critical illness is going to show Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, and then Section 4 are all the other conditions that are covered within that policy. It's a 10-year look back on those conditions, as you can see here. Because it is a yes-no knockout underwriting app, they are going to need to say no to all the questions to get coverage with that policy. The next page here is going to be the agreement section that is simply asking where the client is signing the application. So you're going to go ahead and put in the city and state, and then there's a producer section for you, and all that is asking you is, did you go ahead and ask the questions accurately and in their entirety to the client? You'll put yes, hopefully, and then your agent information is tied to your agent ID with Mutual of Omaha, so that will already be pre-filled for you. You also have the availability to split the cases with any other producers. If you want to do that, all you'll have to do is click yes in this box and then put in their information there. I'm going to leave that at no. Then the next page is additional agent producer information. For instance, if you have maybe a secretary in your office or an admin person that you want correspondence going to, you can go ahead and put in their name, phone number, and email address here. The rest of the information should already be filled out for you. The next page on this application is additional information. This simply is allowing you to go ahead and put in any comments you'd like to our underwriting staff. However, since this is a knockout underwriting application, I usually tell agents you can skip over this page because really any instruction that you give to underwriters will not really affect whether we issue it or decline it. So we can go past that, go to the next page. This is going to be our payment information. So the premium quoted for the client is going to get transferred over here for you. And then our first payment is going to be automated bank account withdrawal, and then the client has the option to keep that as their ongoing payments, or they can go ahead and change that to direct bill. If they did direct bill, they can choose annual, semi-annual, or quarterly, or for their ongoing payments through automated bank account withdrawal, they can do the 1st of the month or the 15th of the month. The next page is going to be our account information. So this is either going to be checkings or savings. We'll put in the bank account information there. Once we've done that, we can go to the next page. And this is the HIPAA form. And essentially all of this language here is asking the client, have you used any other aliases on your medical records within the past 2 years? Essentially, if somebody maybe got married in the past 2 years and they had a maiden name that possibly could be on their medical records, they go ahead and put that in this box below the bold print. And now we are done with the application, so it's time to go ahead and request signatures from the client. So once we hit next, a new box is going to show up that says request signatures. Both you and the client are going to need to sign this. There's 2 ways for you to do this. If you are with the client face-to-face, you can go ahead and turn your computer screen, click this sign button here under the action, and that will get directly into the signature portion. Or you can go ahead and email them a link to their inbox by hitting that email button, typing in this email here, and then hit send. Now, once they get to the link, or if they hit the sign button, once they click on that link in their email box or hit the sign button, they're going to be brought to a screen that looks just like this. Now, as you can see, I cannot click on these 2 boxes. They're grayed out. And what that means is that I need to go ahead and open up these 2 documents. So once I open up the first document, this is the MIB pre-notice, and that is telling the client if we need to go ahead and pull an MIB to underwrite this policy, we will do that. And then the second one is our electronic signature consent document. That is telling the client that we're going to use an e-signature instead of a wet signature as their consent. Once we have opened up both of those documents, now I can go ahead and click on these boxes and hit sign application. This is going to bring me into a PDF that is pre-filled with all the information we did on that e-app. We can go through here and look at it, or we can go ahead and do the easiest thing, which is hit this next signature button at the top. Once I click that, I'm going to be brought to the very first page that the applicant needs to sign. It's going to be highlighted in the yellow box, and all I need to do is hit the sign button, and the first e-signature is done. Then I can go to the next signature, Find that yellow box, hit sign again. And then lastly, hit next signature and then sign. So they will need to sign 3 different times and then click finish, and their portion is done. So both you and the applicant need to sign, like I said, so you'll have to hit the sign button too. You can do it in any order. I usually tell agents, if you are on the phone with the client, maybe you sent them that email link to their inbox. While they're doing it, go ahead and sign it as well. So it's the same process here. We'll hit this next signature at the top, scroll down, find that yellow box, hit sign, hit next signature again, hit sign, and then you are finished. So you as the agent will need to sign twice. Once we hit that finish button, we have a brand new button here that shows submit to MOO. What that means is once you click that button, it's going to go directly to our underwriting team, and it will be issued or declined within 24 hours. All right. So you are finished with the application. Now I'm going to show you the dashboard real quick. So once you start writing a lot of cases with this product, you're going to see all of them show up within your dashboard. So there could be many different statuses that you see. Any status that you see that says incomplete, that means you did not make it through the application. If it says complete, that means you made it through the application, but you have yet to send out the signatures for signing. So if you see a status that says signing, that means that you sent the link to the client. However, they have not opened that link to sign it. Now, if you see a status that says signed, that means that you need to go into that application and hit the submit to MOO button. So it's that simple, very easy process. Depending on which product you're essentially selling with that client, you should be able to get through this e-app well below 10 minutes. All right, so let's go back to the PowerPoint here. So these 2 pitches come directly from our top agents in the field that are selling this product. And essentially, all you need to start asking is, who has your cancer policy? That's the #1 question that our top agents out there are using to pitch the product, because it's going to open doors for you. Because 9 out of 10 times they tell me, the client's going to say, well, what do you mean? I don't have a cancer policy. Well, let them know that their health insurance is not going to pay for all the costs associated with a cancer illness. Like I mentioned earlier, you have all those indirect costs. Also, another approach could be, all right, I just sold you this health insurance or life insurance policy. Now just make sure you don't cancel your cancer policy. Then you can get into all those indirect costs as well with that. All of our point of sales materials for this product are located within our website. Here are examples of those materials. You can also call our internal sales support line, and they will go ahead and ship you out these materials if you request them. And then another easy way to quote this product, if you don't want to go ahead and quote it within our e-application section, you can download our mobile quote app. This is located within the iPhone or Google Play Store. It's free for you to download. I definitely recommend you download this. You do not need to register for it. Most of the products that we offer from Mutual of Omaha are on here. So the life insurance products you are selling are on here, as well as our Medicare supplement, this critical advantage product, and my disability priority income protection product. And that is it. So this is a great way. We all know, if you are out there buying leads or working leads, leads are very expensive. This is a great way for you to drive down that cost of acquisition, help you make more money out there, but also better protect your clients. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. It looks like there are a few. One person asked, can I get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation? This is going to be recorded, so that will be located within the Symmetry website. Do you need a health insurance license? Yes, you do need a health insurance license to go ahead and write this policy. One person asked, what was the second pitch question? I'll go back there to that slide. That second question was, now just make sure you don't cancel your cancer policy. let's see. That is it for the questions. Are there any more? Does anybody else have any questions? We have a good amount of people on the line. Quite a bit of questions are now filling in. So one person asked, can you explain more on the term rider? So how does the term coverage work on here? Let me go back on that slide. All right, so if we're doing the critical illness or the cancer, heart attack, and stroke, the term coverage options with this product, you can sell it to anybody age 18 to 54. Now, you can go as low as 10 years or as high as 30 years. The options are 10, 15, 20, or 30 years. Now, one thing I want to point out that I didn't mention earlier is you can convert that term coverage to lifetime coverage without any extra underwriting from years 3 through 10. So let me repeat that. So if your client, say at this point in time, felt that maybe a term coverage product was more affordable for them, they can go ahead and buy maybe a 10-year term, and then years 3 through 10 that they have that policy in place, they can convert that to lifetime coverage without any extra underwriting. So it's a great feature as well. All right. A lot of questions here. Let me bear with me so I can go through them. For critical illness, you mentioned it covers 100%. So yes, it's 100% payout on the critical illness policy if they trigger any of the conditions that are covered on this page. So you've got internal cancer, malignant melanoma, heart attack, and stroke, and then there are 9 other conditions. So like I mentioned earlier, if you get cancer, maybe you go in really early and the doctor finds, maybe a polyp during a colonoscopy, but they found it really early, and it's really not going to have any effect on your lifespan. They were able to treat that. Well, if it's very acute like that, it doesn't matter to us. As long as it is any internal cancer, they're going to get paid out 100% for that. This product does not pay out upon death. This is not a life insurance coverage. This is a critical illness type product. So if they were having that critical illness policy and a lifetime coverage, they could get all their payment or all their premium payments paid back to their beneficiary when they die. However, if they did not go ahead and trigger any of the critical illnesses covered, it would not get paid out when they die. If they already had cancer and it is in remission, we do a 10-year look back on cancer. So as long as they didn't have cancer in the last 10 years, then they would be able to get coverage. Question, can you sell this over the phone out of state? As long as you have that license in the other state where the client is actually living, you can sell this all day over the phone. Let's see. Do payments go to the health provider or the client? If you were to get paid out, this is a tax-free lump sum check. Like I mentioned before, it goes directly to the client. They can use this for whatever they like. They will incur some out-of-pocket costs, but say if they had $100,000 and out-of-pocket costs to them were only maybe $5,000 during a certain circumstance, well, they have $95,000 to use for whatever they want. They could go ahead and buy a car with that if they wanted. One question, can you explain the return of premium? For example, if the client has a heart attack but dies, will the benefit still pay out? Yeah, so that is a two-part question. The built-in return of premium, like I mentioned, it's only in place if the client pays all their premiums for the lifetime policy and they never trigger any of the conditions covered within that policy. So they never use the policy. Well, all of those premiums are going to their beneficiary. However, if they were to get a heart attack and die during that policy lifetime, well, those payment or that benefit is actually going to their beneficiary. So we're still going to pay that out no matter what. Let's see. Quite a few questions rolling in here. Let me skim through. Some of them I have answered already. So bear with me. Is a life insurance license required? You just need your health insurance. So if you have your life and health, you are good to go. If you have your life, you will need your health license to get this. Can you talk more about setting up on payroll deductions? So yes, like I said, you can do it 3 or more lives. The form to set that up is on our website. You'll just need to pull that within forms and materials. Daniel Powell out there must have spotted a typo, so he wanted to make sure I knew of that. And this is kind of funny, so I'll mention it. Is stoke the same as stroke on the first line of this page? Yes, Daniel, it is. Thank you. Is there a group rate? This is an individual policy, so all of the policies, if you were to go ahead and maybe payroll deduct, they're all going to have their own rate. Is there any of these coverages that can help cancer survivors? So like I mentioned before, as long as they haven't had cancer, any internal cancer in the past 10 years, then they're go ahead to sign up for this policy. Payroll deduction. What that means is if, say there are 3 or more people that work for an employer and they all want to get coverage, they can go ahead and maybe that employer can go ahead and take that out of their paycheck instead of them paying for that directly. They can do that with this product. All right, everyone. Well, I appreciate you joining me on the call. Like I said, this has been a very popular product with Symmetry Financial Group agents. Very easy product for you to sell. Simply start asking the question, who has your cancer policy? It will definitely open up some doors for you. We all know somebody that's had cancer, heart attack, and stroke. We've all been to those pancake feeds or spaghetti feeds where, you know, people may have had cancer, maybe they've got health insurance, but there's a lot of indirect costs. And I always say, don't be that person that has to, think in the foresight because you had cancer. Think ahead, get a policy in place for you that will take care of those needs when you need it. Does a TIE, transgenic ischemic attack, or mini heart attack qualify for a payout? It does, John. All right, well, that's my time. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Happy selling. We do go to those conferences every year. So if you plan on going to the next one, please feel free. We always have a booth there. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time. And you guys have been a great partner for us at Mutual of Omaha. So we always are willing to do this and help educate you on our products. So enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.